Hold up, wait a minute. This looks really hot.
All right, we're live. Good morning, everyone, and welcome
to Espresso with Erin
and Sarit, where we talk about authentically about how to become the best version of yourself. And really, we talk about the
hold on.
taboo conversations of how to help you achieve a body that matches your level of determination.
You want to look good, you want to feel good, you want to be healthy, you want to look at the mirror and love yourself, you want to have self-confidence. This is what we talk about through all of the untraditional, non-traditional things that are below the surface of what the health, fitness, and body transformation industry talks about. Up here with the nutrition and the fitness and the hormone, this, that, whatever. Yeah. Ma'am, please.
All right.
And then under here is what it really takes. And this is what we talk about. So on today's episode, we are going to be talking a lot about some of the character traits that are required for you to really get into the body that you want, if you want to keep it, which I'm sure that is one of the things. And then also we're going to be talking about some stories we tell ourselves that we don't recognize are actually holding us back and how to overcome those. Mm-hmm. I'm done. That's awesome. It for me, actually. I'm finished. The whole episode is yours.
I love it. She's like, okay, you do the intro and then wait. I'm ready.
I guess I have something to say.
So good. Okay. So,
and if you're new to this channel, we do Espresso with Erin and Sarit on Fridays with a live audience that is in our Savage Sisters community. If you want more information about that community, check the link in the description below this video. All right, let's roll.
Good morning, guys. For those of you who are live with us, it's great to have you here. So also, we talk about untraditional topics that are highly essential based on also things that are currently happening in our lives or just are happening in the world in general. And before we hit the record button, when we were talking with our audience right here, we were talking about show them your shirt.
Some people are going to really side with me and some people are going to give me the bird. And I'm okay with it. Go Hawks! Woo! In case you're watching this at like some weird random time in the future, Seahawks just played the Rams. They're both 11-3. It's like the biggest game of the year. And whoever wins this game guarantees them spot in the playoffs. And it went into overtime and came down to the very last play. Insane. So I'm wearing this shirt as to honor and represent hard work, persistence, never giving up, and go Hawks.
And this morning, we're totally letting you into our lives. We are not only very on top of our habits, we're also like our routines are just like in everything in life, right? So on Fridays, we also happen to do our laundry. And we got a load going in right now. You might hear it, you might not. And when I was, getting undressed and putting the clothes in the laundry basket before I went to shower right after my workout this morning, I was actually thinking about McVeigh. And I'll tell you what I was thinking about. He really struck me. McVeigh is the Rams coach. So
here you sound like you really know a lot about football.
So listen. So he really struck me. He really struck me because I can sense someone having extreme discipline based on how they show up. And I have a lot of respect for that guy and that coach because I can tell based on him and based on his team and how the Rams performed yesterday that they're highly disciplined. And so that's what I was thinking about. And then I have a lot of conversations with myself. I was thinking about him this morning and I was like,
what's McVeigh's first name?
Sean.
Wow, I'm so impressed.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like
Witty.
there's a lot of traits. Like I'm watching him.
Her and Sean are best friends now, first name
Yeah,
basis.
yeah, totally. And
Going to LA tomorrow to have lunch.
and what I was thinking about is this is in the context of winning. What I'm going to share with you is Sean McVay and the LA Rams are winners. I can see how they operate on the field, and I'm not even like a big football person. Like just a year ago, I learned what an interception is. Okay. And what I was thinking about this morning is you can never be a winner without losing.
Oof.
You gotta know how
Oh.
to lose with grace in order to be a winner. Like the
Oh.
way that I see Sean McVay
This is
and the
so
way
good.
that I see the LA Rams, they are winners. They're winners. I see how they operate. And a part of winning is really having the humility of losing with grace, because no one who's a winner, whether it's Tom Brady, your favorite football team, your favorite football player, go ahead and drop it in the chat, or your favorite athlete or your favorite person that you look up to. Like if there's someone that you look up to, it is because you see character traits that convey that they're a winner. And if you truly study any winner and their life, you're going to see that they've had to overcome a lot of losses. Now, the reason why a lot of people don't even get remotely close to what their potential could be is because they choose to identify themselves based on an event versus utilizing that event as a constructive way to learn on how to be better. Last night's game, Erin's like, I asked Erin, it was like 8:30, and I'm like, all right, like second quarter is literally about to finish. I'm like, I'm going to bed. I'm like, are you planning on staying up? Because like, Erin is the sleep master in the house.
Said, yes, I am.
And she's like, I am. I said,
Yes, I
am. Oh, okay. So at first
am. A game of this magnitude.
Yeah, it was
does
worth
not
it for
come
you.
along. It's like Super Bowl status for a Seahawks or a Rams fan.
Yeah, totally. And, I am rooting for the Seahawks because I'm rooting for my Bay. And, like my world does not like change based on football, right? And I do appreciate a lot about it. And at the same time, I'm the type of person who is not willing to sacrifice sleep for a football game because I don't care about it that as much as she does. So, all that to say, I went to bed last night and I was like, Erin hates it. Like every once in a while, like especially when I have like higher bouts of anxiety, like sometimes I want to bring the iPad because I like for people to be around me when I go to bed. I don't know why.
What is it? How does the iPad be a people around you when you go to bed?
Well, because you are with your curtains on, like
Yeah, I wear an eye mask.
I
It's
know. It
cold.
just I don't know. It's comforting. For
So
me.
what is it? An invisible mask that I don't know about, and it's like when I put it on, I disappear and I'm not around you anymore.
No, it's just you have this energy about you. It's like once she puts on her thing, and
Well, guess what? When I'm passed out,
I know.
Not available.
But anyways, if it's up to Erin, you'll never see Erin bring an iPad unless it's like really necessary. So I asked her last night, I'm like, would you like consider maybe bringing the iPad and come to bed and I'll sleep and we can all hang out. And she's like, she figured it out and she watched it in bed. And I was getting at it because you chose to
and I had my eye mask
sleep.
right here. I was ready right when it was over.
Really?
Oh yeah. I was ready.
When did it finish?
I brushed my teeth. I had my mouth guard in. I had my curtain. Sarit calls it a curtain, an eye curtain. I was ready. No, it went into overtime. So it went like an extra.
What?
11? I mean, they put 10 more minutes on the clock, but that 10 minutes is really like 30.
Okay.
So
it was late. Anyway, and
yeah, it was like 11:40 or something.
Yeah.
Time.
Yeah. So this morning I asked her, I'm like, so she wore her shirt.
You didn't ask me. I walked in the room. I said that game was something. What did I say? Wild.
I don't
I
know,
don't know.
but you made me sound really excited. I'm like, so what happened? And
Mhm,
she told me the final play. But
mhm.
all that to say, you cannot be a winner. Being a winner is an identity, right? And winning, that is an event
Mhm.
that is judged by a scoreboard.
Hmm.
So, for all of you guys
Mhm.
who are here with us live, how are you choosing to look at yourself? And are you choosing, and this is where winning can become dangerous, all right? And all right, this
All
is good.
right.
As someone who played sports for a really long time, and also being an entrepreneur, which is kind of a sport where there is a lot of ups and downs, and it's actually like, it exposes you to all sides of you, let's just put it this way. I can tell you that I won some and I lost some. And for the longest point of my life, and I would say I still have some reminiscence of it, is being a success victim. Okay. And what is a success victim? A success victim is a person who chooses to truly place their faith in their embodiment as a winner or a loser based on what they see externally on the scoreboard. Okay, so
Like
for
they're
example,
like they identify with the scoreboard as who they are versus something that is an event.
yeah. So whether you're Sean McVay, Tom Brady, or you or anyone, right? Like a success victim on their highs, or let's think about the Seahawks. They're now going to the playoffs, right? If the entire team was basically had the culture of success victims, which by the way, I can tell just from their coach. Because they were down going into the halftime, and you could just tell by his responses that he was very humble and he was very concentrated. That's not the case, but I would say a team that's pretty loud and boisterous, like you could tell that they're success victims because they have zero humility when they're winning, right? Like show me a winner who is humble when they're on their uprise, and I will show you like someone who's truly free.
Hold
When
on.
you're a success victim, hold on. I believe, and this is from my own life experience, that when you let your external circumstances affect how you choose to see you, you are a victim to some extent, and therefore you're not free. So that means that when you're at the highs, like on the highs of life, you think you're untouchable, right? When the reality is that we're just mortal beings, right? And when you're at the lowest lows, it's almost like this is me and what I used to do to myself based on my own life experiences. Like I would almost punish myself and cause extra agony and pain because I thought that because the scoreboard did not look in a certain way, that I was not good enough, that I was not worthy. And it actually caused more pain, agony, sorrow, and frustration.
We call it a sore loser.
Yeah, sore
You're a
loser,
sore loser. Like you
right?
gotta lose with
I
grace.
I like a true winner is someone who like when they win, they're like, all right, like it's a boost of confidence, yet they're still humble. And when they lose, they don't let that shake them. And I applaud that.
When you say, I'm really curious, and I want to be curious before I challenge something that you're saying because I want to understand it all the way.
All right.
When you're loud and boisterous when you're winning, was there some kind of like something that you saw or experience from anywhere in the game or elsewhere where you're like, oh
In that
shit?
game, actually not at all.
Because I'm thinking about celebration versus
And I was
like,
thinking about it as I was saying it too. There's a
yeah,
difference
yeah.
between having a celebratory
Like you made a massive game-changing play and you're like
no,
fired
no, no,
up
no,
about
no.
it. Hold on. You're
Yeah.
like fired up about it for a second. You're like, "What? Let's go." Like you're amped. And that's just like adrenaline coming through your body versus like,
Yeah.
oh, my shit doesn't stink.
Yes.
Like,
Okay.
yeah.
So I'll give you a really great example because I saw that yesterday.
I know what you're saying. I just want
Yeah,
you guys
no,
to
this,
know that I don't want to discourage anybody from celebrating their wins.
and
From
I don't
celebrating
either.
yourself, from celebrating the great things that you do, because there's a difference between that
Totally.
and then when you get arrogant, you start to actually lose your edge.
Yep.
When you
Yep.
get entitled or you expect certain things because you achieved something, you start to lose your
Yeah,
edge.
you think your shit don't stink. You think that there's no consequence to what you say, what you do, when in fact there are. Yeah, that's what I call loud and
Yeah, it's like
boisterous.
stay focused, keep your head in the
And
game.
I wanted to close my loop first on success victim, and then
Here I am
and then
finishing your sentences.
and then I wanted to. It is really important. So any winner, right, has to go through losses. Okay. And the celebration after winning an event is what makes going through the painful parts in the process so sweet. Truly. Truly. You know what I mean? Like yesterday, I don't know what happened in the locker room for the Seahawks afterwards, but they were probably over the moon because it was a really hard game to win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Versus getting an easy win. You know what I mean? So celebration is essential because celebration is like a way, it's an acknowledgement for the overcoming of the process, right? Of everything that happened, of everything that happens beneath the surface that no one sees. You know what I mean? So and I'm gonna just chime on. If you guys don't know who Tim Grover is, he was the coach of both Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. Trainer. And Tim Grover has this thing where every time they would, like win a championship or something like that, he'll give them a 24-hour rule. It's like you got 24 hours to celebrate. Like celebrate your accomplishments and then
back on it.
Don't think you're hot shit afterwards. Right afterwards, you're back at it, right? Like you gotta be humble. And I think that's why, they were able to have so much longevity in the game versus even some of their, teammates. So I'll give you an example of an athlete that I actually experienced yesterday, who, in my opinion, is extremely loud and boisterous. And I told Erin, I'm like, I personally don't like it. Doesn't matter how good he is. What was his name?
I know who you're talking about. You don't know his name?
No, I forgot it.
It rhymes with Schmarshawn Schminch.
Yeah, Marshawn Lynch. The amount of times that he curses, I'm like, dude, you're on national TV.
He was at the table before the game started, and like half of what he was saying was beeped out. And I'm like, dude, I wish I could know what you're talking about. But
yeah, so like Marshawn Lynch, he knows he's good. He knows he's hot shit. He wants so many championships. And loud and boisterous means that you act in a way where you feel like there is no consequences, right? Like you even said, he's like, he just doesn't care about anything. There's one thing to have confidence.
I mean, he cares about things. He doesn't care about what anybody thinks anywhere he's at, which I admire. He's going to be all the way him, regardless of what people think, which is like a admirable quality. It's just, does that serve you all the way or not?
And this is just my own personal opinion. Yeah. Like I do find value in, I don't care what you have to say. Like Gary Vee, for example, he's like, I can't hear you, in the sense that your opinion of me is not going to affect like
what
the choices that I make, because like it can get so loud, which that I appreciate, right? It's like when we let all the noise in, we cannot tune in with ourselves. And it's one thing to disregard other people, right? Like I'm just thinking about football fans, like how many families like bond and unite together through football experiences, and especially on such a big game like that. And they're bringing in someone who is really well known because he has such a great such a great track record. It's like, do you want to show up as a leader, or like guarantee you any kid who was watching it was like, Mom and Dad, what do you think they were saying? You know what I mean? And I just think
Maybe.
This is my opinion. My opinion is yes, like I'm all about confidence and also like knowing the audience and respecting the environment.
What I'm
That's just
hearing
my
you
opinion.
say is he's not for you.
Yeah.
Because some
Right.
people absolutely love Marshawn Lynch. Like, they love his no shit attitude. That, you know, like, it's like anything. You're gonna resonate with some people, and you're not gonna resonate with other people. Okay. Um, Something I want to relate though what you're saying to
Mm,
this like journey of body transformation,
mm.
which you're saying, gosh, it was before we started talking about Marshawn. What were you talking about before you started? Oh, we were talking about
Humility, loud and
humility. Oh,
boisterous
yes.
versus.
So, if you've ever started losing weight and started feeling really good about yourself, you're like 20 pounds down and you're like, yes, I'm feeling good. Like, the pain is not so great of a pain as it was 20 pounds ago. And so then you start thinking to yourself, uh, oh, yeah, I can have this little cookie, or I can have that thing, or it's happened in our community, mostly a few years ago, where people would start to get this amazing sense of confidence, which is awesome. But because they hadn't been there, they didn't really know what to do with that confidence. And it actually ended up shooting them in the foot.
Mm-hmm.
Because what happened is they
Sorry.
started going back to their old habits because they were more comfortable. And so this is the value of humility, and also discipline. Is discipline, part of discipline is intentionally putting yourself in different forms of discomfort to keep you on your game, to keep you on your edge, to remind you you're human, to remind you you're beatable. And when you know that, you remain more focused. So that's why we're like, if you don't continue climbing to the next level, you get comfortable and you end up falling back down. And that's like, I think there's a saying that's like, if you're not growing, you're dying.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what it makes me think about, is if you're not always reaching for that next level, you are susceptible to the slippery slope back down to the place that you didn't like where you were.
Yeah.
And this is the significance of humility. So somebody starting, they're like, okay, let's just take this time of year that we're in right now is, we're a couple of weeks from January. And there's going to be a lot of people who start in January and they start losing weight. And if, and what they think about first is, I'm going to go to the gym always. Like, what is the first thing you do when you want to lose weight? It's either workout, nutrition. That's it. Those are the two things most people think about. And then they do those things for a while. And if they think that those things aren't working, then they start being like, oh, maybe it's my hormones. Oh, maybe it's my age. Oh, maybe it's like all these other things, when really it's your character. And humility is one of those things.
That's so good.
Humility is one of those things. So people are not going to be like, oh my God, I really would like to lose 20 pounds. I'm going to start working on my humility. Like, nobody thinks humility relates to body transformation. Nobody thinks integrity relates to body transformation. Nobody thinks that courage relates to body transformation. Nobody thinks that communication skills relate to body transformation. But guess what? It takes courage, because there's going to be a lot of things you don't know how to do where you're going to have to suck it up. There's going to be people who are going to have shit to say that are not going to make you feel encouraged about yourself. So it's going to take courage for you to keep going. There's going to be people who are going to try to drag you down. It takes courage to keep going. You're going to have to step outside your comfort zone to try new things that you've never tried, which takes courage. Integrity. You're going to need to be honest with yourself. You're going to need to keep your word to yourself. You're going to need to be real and truthful with yourself. Humility. We already talked about that. What was the other one I said?
Integrity.
I said 4.
Humility.
Courage.
What did you guys hear?
I'll just give you another one. I don't know. This is a bonus one. Vulnerability. Because guess what? You need other people to support you. So you're going to have to put yourself, courage. You're going to have to
You
put,
already said courage.
oh, okay, well, double courage. You're going to need to put yourself out there and be vulnerable to judgment, vulnerable to criticism, vulnerable to people seeing your dirt, the things that you're not good at, the things you feel self-conscious about. But nobody thinks about, oh, okay, I'm going to need to be vulnerable, courageous, have integrity, have humility, whatever else I said. And there's a list. I'm actually going to do an entire, I don't know if it's going to be one video. The more I think about it and the more I let stuff come to me, the more I think it's going to need to be like a training series of all of the character traits required to really create not only like the body that makes you feel awesome, but in whole, be happy and joyful about who you are, who you've become, how you show up in the world. Oh, communication was the other one.
I see.
How does communication have to do
Betsy
with me losing weight? Guess what? You're going to need to communicate to your family that some of the shit in this house doesn't work anymore and it needs to go.
And it's one way to say some of the shit in the house doesn't work anymore. It needs to go versus,
hey, I'm working on some changes that are going to help me be the best version of me. That is going to really help me be a better mom, a better wife, a better daughter, a better caregiver to my parents, wherever you're at in life. And so it would really be supportive to me if, as I make these adjustments, if you could, if something is uncomfortable for you or you're not in alignment with it, that we can find a way to meet in the middle so that I can make sure I'm taking care of myself and being the best I can for you. And also honoring, your path and your values.
Yeah. Is that fair? Is that something you
can
commit to,
like
supporting me with?
Or if they offer you something that they damn well know you're intentionally not having, and they're like, oh, pizza Friday night. Hey, as much as I would love that, and it's super tempting, it's actually really hard for me when you offer that because I want to say yes. I want to have that experience with you, but maybe we can do pizza in a healthier way than before so that we can meet both of our needs. Is that cool?
Yeah, or maybe you order the pizza and instead I get this.
Yeah, but all of it has to do with how do you communicate. A lot of people communicate in a way that's very blamey. You did this. I told you not to do that. And nobody's going to respond well to that. So it's like, hold on, please. You spoke a lot. It's my turn. This, please, you spoke a lot. It's my turn. What was I saying?
You spoke a lot. Now it's my turn.
Before that.
Communication. You gave the pizza.
So there's, if you want people to respond to you favorably in the way you desire for them to respond to your requests, your values, the changes you're making in your life, it's going to require you to know how to communicate to that person. But when people want to lose weight, they don't think about, oh yeah, I guess I'm going to need to improve my communication skills. And here's the really tough reality. If you don't work on these things, nothing will ever change. I don't say never often because it's very definite, but nothing will ever change because all you're doing is it's like when you do Halloween and you have the most epic costume, but it's like really complex and complicated to put on and do, and the makeup and the stuff, and the makeup like goes down your chest because who knows what's happening. When you rinse it all off, when you wash it all off, you're still you. You're still you. You're still the version of you that was not happy with where you were. And so if you don't change the foundation, if you don't change what's internal, anything that changes external is going to be temporary. Because you're still going to be operating internally the same way. All you're doing is putting on a costume, but everything else that was still there before is still there. So until you actually transform,
Yeah.
Like nothing will change.
Yeah. And the thing is, we're not taught how to so communication goes alongside psychology too. Because there's a way to land communication. It's one thing to speak. It's another thing to know.
Like, shut up, it's my turn to talk.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Really good example.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it also, communication is also dependent on your level of relationship with that person that you're communicating with.
Well, and also the level of the relationship that you have with someone else always, always, always begins with your level of relationship with
Yourself.
you. And this is it's important because it's one thing. Actually, I was giving coaching to one of the ladies in the 6-week peak physique the other day. She was saying that she earned a 0 because her neighbor couldn't stop nagging her about the fudge that his wife was making.
It's her neighbor's fault, clearly.
When the reality is that what was lacking for her is, for one, decisiveness in your own choice, and 2, communicating with certainty. No one is ever going to be enrolled in your level of seriousness when you're saying, I am trying to eat healthy.
Trying. Oh no. There's that word. Hey, try to grab this mouse. Just try, though. Don't actually grab it. Just try. Oh no. No, try. You can't. Try means you can't actually do it, because if you're doing it, then you're not trying. You're actually doing it. So it's like this. And then you're saying, "Oh my God, it's the mouse's fault. It must be the mouse's fault."
So I'm saying that to say that our current communication reveals our current level of psychology. Because if you're not truly, and I'm not saying that this person is not committed, okay? I believe that the further you
They're
go,
just
the
learning
more
that
you
they don't want
realize that there are different levels to commitments, right? Like a lot of people will say that my level of commitment is extreme. Their level of commitment is probably weak, right? Meanwhile, people who are more disciplined might say, you're really inspiring, because
I think there is only one level of commitment. Because the word commitment in itself says,
all right, maybe
it's going to
yes.
happen.
I think it's different levels of pain tolerance as we go through our journey of commitment.
I think it's a different level of self-awareness.
Okay, maybe. All right. Anyways,
it could be multiple things, but it's like, if I'm not aware of these things, it's like, I don't know what I don't know.
Yeah.
You have a thumb on your forehead.
I do.
Good job.
Anyways, so I was giving her coaching on literally communication, on how to land her communication in a way that is assertive and confident. Now, here's the thing. When you are not confident in you, it's really hard to land communication in a way that is confident. Effective. You know what I mean? And that's why wherever you go, there you are, right? So all that to say, that's why we say, like, control your controllables, right? Your controllables are how you show up for you. So when you show up in a certain way that leads with integrity, your level of confidence grows. And even if something feels uncomfortable, when maybe communicating something that is outside of your comfort zone. For those of you guys who are with us, what is something that you communicated recently that maybe was a little bit outside of your comfort zone? Laura Hanrahan did a beautiful nurse with a verse this week, and we were talking about how the power of our tongue. Of course, our tongue speaks life and death to ourselves and other people. Napoleon Hill talks about suggestion and autosuggestion. Suggestion is when the tongue speaks unto others. Autosuggestion is when our tongue speaks to ourselves.
So I would extend the tongue even to thought.
Yes.
Thought. There you go again. Look at you.
Wow, I'm doing really well today.
Thought is just an inaudible language. It's an inaudible language. Nobody can hear it but you.
Mhm.
And so when let's take a very familiar setting, wake up, imagine yourself waking up and you throw the covers off and you stroll into the bathroom to do your morning pee-pee. And you look at yourself in the mirror. Bum, bum, bum. What's the first thing you start thinking? Imagine yourself looking at yourself in the mirror. What's the first thing that you start thinking? I would love to see, for those of you who are live with us, please contribute and answer this question. What is one of the first thoughts that you have when you look at yourself in the mirror? I'm giving no other prompt other than that. And I'm going to read what you guys write. So please share so that anybody else watching the replay of this is able to know about your contribution, because I'm sure it's very relatable to others. And um, I, unless you're very aware of yourself, it's really easy for the very first thing to be a criticism of yourself. So if you have the fear of criticism, my friend, come. If you have a fear of criticism, you're already criticizing yourself every day. So what does it matter if it comes from you or somebody else?
That's good.
You're more afraid, like the fear of criticism of other people is actually more a fear of you looking bad, of you looking like you did something wrong or you're not good enough. Not criticism in itself, because you do that for yourself every day. I'm going to read some of these comments to prove my point. I'm very confident. I'm sore, but it's in a good way for me. That's the first thing you think about when you look in the mirror, Leah. I'm sore. Okay, cool. Wish I could stay home and do everything I want to do. Or where's my double chin going? Oh, it's disappearing. Yahoo! That's Melissa Morgan. That's really the first thing that you think about, is your double chin is disappearing? Oh, you guys are awesome. Okay, so I think that some of us are, for one, you've been coached really well, I might say. And I also think there is more that goes on here. I mean, and I could be wrong. Failure and success. Wow, you're actually starting to look like what you envision yourself being, Laura Hanrahan. I'm not surprised. Wish I could. Okay, yep. I already see that one. Okay. I look tired / bags under my eyes. Internally feeling love and new feelings of growth in the area of self-love. Physically, I see you're doing the things and we still have lots of work to do. Val, okay, not surprised that's coming from you too. Okay. Do you ever think you ever see anything you want to change? Like y'all are being
I do.
Like you're all being really optimistic right now, and I'm going to challenge it. And I could be by myself. Hold on. But I'm thinking that I went to a different gym today and I met a girl named Elena, and she looked at me and she made this kind of face. So I took my headphones off. I said, "What's up, girl?" She's like, "I'm just trying to get myself to do this." And I'm like, I don't remember how we got into this conversation, but I was like, "Do you know what? Do you I don't," she ended up saying, I said, like, "Well, why are you doing it?" And she goes, "Well, because I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, you're fat." She was black. She's like, "You fat and you need to like not be so fat." And I'm like, I don't think anybody's immune to seeing all of the things they want to be different about themselves, or all the things they don't like. That's what I'm saying. When you're not self-aware, some of you have become more self-aware. And so that's why you can change the script. But how does the script start before you change it?
So wait.
Because I don't know. I only live in my own experience, but I've been in this industry since the beginning of 2009. And every single woman that I've had a conversation with about this topic talks shit about herself when she first sees herself in the mirror. The more self-aware we become, the better we become at changing the script, changing the conversation, changing the internal dialogue to support us and where we want to go, which is where I see some of you going here. But how, like, if you're being real, are there never moments where you look in the mirror and you're like, you grab this piece or you grab that piece or you turn to the side and you look at your pooch? Come on.
Okay, so
Am I ever delirious?
No, you're not delirious. Let me share with you my story, all right? Because I have a really long history of body dysmorphia. And I will tell you that I have a tendency to look out for what is not ideal.
What you don't like. What you don't like?
Yeah. So like if there's days where I feel like look, it has also served me in a way that when I see something, I'm like, you don't like it. I'm like, dude, change it. Change it. Accountability. Mirror is a great form of accountability because I believe that as humans, we are going to seek out our flaws before we seek out the great things about us. So I'll tell you, when I wake up in the morning, by the way, I take my invigorating shower. For those of you guys who are in elite, just wait till you get there. In the morning, first thing first, it's like a mindset thing that I do on purpose, and I do it when it's dark, right? And even though I can barely see myself and I'm in my shadows, I look in the mirror and I'm keeping myself in check. And if there's ever days where I feel more bloated than normal, I'm like, dude, like what's happening? Right. And for me, it's a form of accountability. Not always has it been that way. In a sense that I can tell you that when I look in a mirror, like before I look at, oh my God, like, and I'm like so thankful. I'm actually like in my raw human moment, like looking for my imperfections. Truly, truly. Most mornings I'm like so grateful. I'm like, I like what I see. And I do like to like what I see. That's why I make it a point to show up in a certain way. Because
everybody likes to like what they see in themselves.
Yeah.
We were talking about this last week about kids, how they're enamored with themselves, just obsessed with watching videos of themselves.
Yeah.
We like to like what we see.
But I'm just being honest that like when I look in the mirror, like I'm keeping myself in check. I'm like, are there like the things look out of whack? What's going on? Right. So I mean, I saw what Danielle Voigt said. She was saying like,
and Danielle Voigt is ripped.
Yeah.
I do want to say something very important. I love your guys' optimism. I'm going to say that, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, I'm going to say keep thinking about all of the positive things because it serves you absolutely 100%. I'm going to say another thing without assuming that you do this or without calling you a liar, because you guys are very optimistic and positive in the chat. And so I'm not going to accuse anybody of being like, no, that's not what you think. But I am going to question it. I'm going to challenge it, only because if that's not always your thought process, then I don't want you to be lying to yourself at the same time. So this is a very neutral share.
Goes back to integrity.
Yeah, it's a very neutral share, because if we're not willing, for anybody who wants to be positive, it's like the outside of this cup looks really clean, right? Super clean, nice. I don't drink coffee like a messy, wild raccoon. Okay, nice and clean. But on the inside, this is, you got a coffee stuff, dirty, right? But you don't see the inside. Nobody sees the inside except for who? You and your creator. You and your creator. Okay? So if you are pretending that there's not messiness or dirtiness on the inside, and you're trying to fool yourself, it's going to hurt you.
This is good. I know where
So,
you're going at.
so I'm not accusing anybody of doing this here. I'm saying this because it is a very common thing that we want to be optimistic and positive and say the thing my coach wants to hear me say. I want to give the right answer, but is it the true answer?
That's
Hey,
honesty.
Hey, I can't tell you how many times I've had this conversation. Okay, so talking to somebody new, "Oh, okay, I want to lose 30 pounds. Okay, cool. What's prevented you from doing that in the past? Or, what is your nutrition like? What is your nutrition like? Oh,
I ate
I
pretty
eat
well.
pretty clean.
Yeah.
Oh, tell me more. Well, I try to, this is always, I try to, and they start telling you all the good shit. I have a smoothie for breakfast and I have da, da, da," but somehow they mysteriously leave out the part where they binge ate a pint of Ben and Jerry's ice cream with a peanut butter sandwich while sitting on the couch watching a movie. Somehow they forget the part where every time they walk past the bowl of peanut M&Ms at work, they grab a handful and shove it in their mouth. Somehow they neglect the part that every morning they get a Starbucks cookie dough frappuccino. Somehow they neglect the part where when they go to the store and they're checking out of the grocery line, they throw a thing of peanut butter cups on there. Somehow they neglect all of the things that they think I don't want to hear,
Mm-hmm.
or all of the things that would make them wrong, all of the things that would make them look bad.
Mm-hmm.
But if we don't acknowledge them, we can never overcome them.
That's so good. So true. So true.
So, all I'm saying in all of this is when you're evaluating yourself, or I mean, the people right now who we're talking to live, we're your coaches. If we're asking you a question, don't just give us the answer you think we want to hear. That doesn't help you. It does not help you at all. If you're working with a coach somewhere else and you're watching this on YouTube, don't give them the answer you think they want to hear. Give them the truth. Because if you're lying to them, you're lying to yourself. And if you're lying to yourself, you're hurting yourself. It's like the person who wants to get a good CrossFit workout score, and so they say their time was a minute less than it was so they can look good on the leaderboard, or they say they did more reps than they did because they want to look good to somebody else. You're not helping anybody. It doesn't matter to anybody else. It doesn't affect their life, only yours.
That's so good.
We have to learn to be honest with what's dirty and what's messy.
That's humility, though. That's humility.
And this is humility.
And
And vulnerability.
Yeah. And I believe that that's sometimes why God brings us to really low points, because
if we're not willing to acknowledge it ourselves, I'm going to throw it straight in your face so you cannot not see it.
That's it. That's it.
Here it is. Boom.
And that's what, and that's, man, I think I responded to Shauna. I responded to you yesterday. You're talking about
Shauna's so real. Shout out how like authentic
you're
and
like,
real you are.
You're like,
everybody can relate to you.
You're like, I'm being, what's the word she used? She's like, I'm being, it's a P word, like when you're in a mood.
I'm just going to say pissant. That's not what the word was, but I think it gets the point across.
It's along these lines. Like she was just being, she's like, I'm being moody.
Yeah.
Shauna, if you're here and you can drop the word, tell me what it is. And she's like, I'm being moody. And like, she's like, I'm sick and tired of it. So like, I'm making a post about it. And shout out to Debbie Sutor. She actually asked really good questions. And I also made a comment saying that like, just like dig deep, because emotions are here to emote, and emote means to inspire motion,
to move you.
Right? So like, I will tell you guys, I was not truly ready to change up until I was confronted with so much fear when I saw like my dad's condition and situation.
Mm-hmm.
I was kinda in it. But when it came to, you know, giving up things that I found comfort in, like the Coke Zeros, like the no added sugar ice cream and all the things where it's like, yes, I'm pretending that I'm eating clean because it says 0 calorie this, it says no added sugar this, but the reality is I was still putting shit in my body and it showed everywhere. And until I was confronted with so much fear, I'm like, God, please change me. Change me. And if I happen to figure this out, like, as a symbol of gratitude, I'm going to help others to do the same. You know what I mean? So I believe that these emotions are really here to serve us. Right?
Mhm.
I mean, you think
They're not good or bad.
for all of you guys, think about your turning point, right? The turning point is when we really like were willing to confront like the sides of ourselves that we ignored up until now.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I'll tell you guys, like up until that point, when I was 22, I was doing everything that I could to get away with getting by. Like the mindset of no added sugar ice cream, Coke Zero all day. It's the mindset of getting away with getting by because you know that you're putting shit in your body and you're trying to justify based on a certain number of calories. And the problem in society is that it is tolerated all over the fucking place. All over the place. It is tolerated in the school system. It is tolerated in the food industry. It is tolerated in the big pharma system. I mean, look, whoever is at the top, they're actually a bunch of freaking liars. And I see that. Why? Because as people age, they get worse in lies. Sorry, they get worse off as they were. Why? Because they fed their lives full of lies. They're unhappy. They're financially uncomfortable. Inflation keeps on rising. They're sicker than they ever were. And this is why we do what we do, because we believe in truth. And the sooner you act, the sooner you confront yourself, guess what? The sooner you'll be able to change. Right? And it's not easy. Like all of this, like injections and like bullshit that like doctors are giving people. It also blows my mind how people are just like buying it mentally. Like you really think?
No.
You really think that that's going to help you?
No, it's not about that. It's a quick fix. It's an instant gratification. It's a solution to the problem with no effort involved. This is reality. Like we've gone there as a society. People want
Tolerated everywhere.
This is another like character, or this is like something else that I actually wrote down to be in the to be a part of the training that I'm going to do is one of the things that is required, which is not a character trait, but it's a skill to build, is the willingness to put in the work without getting any results for a while. If you can be willing to put in the work without getting any results for a while, just trusting that at some point you will, then you will. Is that people want the great thing with very mediocre, at best, effort. But those two things don't live in the same room. Greatness doesn't live with mediocre. Like they don't. It's oil and water. They the opposite sides of the magnet. It doesn't work that way. And that's why I say it doesn't matter what you do on the outside, an injection, a surgery, or whatever. You're still behaving the same way you were behaving before you did the thing, which means you're going to still get the same result you had before. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, like stop wanting to get away with shit. Like
we actually just had a friend who was telling us she knows a lot more about like the crypto world than us. She said, you got to be in crypto. And immediately I was like, I'm not investing in something I don't know anything about. That's my bad if I lose because I don't know about it. and then I also, as like you guys were talking, I was like, oh, it does sound nice. It's going to increase by 500%. And then I almost picked up my phone and did a calculator and was, what's 500% of this amount of money? And I was like, no, I'm not even going to do that, because it's that same attitude of, I want a lot for a little. Oh,
I'm gonna read this.
it's the same attitude of like, I want to get this awesome, amazing thing super fast, easily, without putting any effort, without it taking any time. And it actually, like, if somebody just hands you something, you do not value it nearly as much as if you had to work your ass off for that thing. So there is a value in hard work.
Yeah.
There's really a value in hard work. And we, like, if everybody had the attitude of like, oh my gosh, what a blessing it is that I have the ability to work hard. Because then when hard things happen, you're prepared. But people who don't do hard things, they try to scoot by with the littlest amount of effort. Something hard happens and they lose themselves and no idea what to do, because they're not conditioned or prepared for hard things to happen. And guess what? Hard things happen in life. Nobody's immune to it. So, like, how are you preparing yourself for those things? Are you going to put in the work and like be willing to put in the work for a long amount of time without getting any results? What if somebody told you, you have to go to the gym, you have to work out all the time, you have to eat clean, you have to, and you're actually not going to see any results for a year. But when you do, you'll never go back to who you were. Would you be willing to do that? Would you have the patience? Oh, so I'm just coming up with character traits out of my butt. Patience. Okay.
Oh, patience. That's good. That's
also
good.
requires patience. Do you have the patience to stick with it? Requirement. Since you guys are here, I'm going to tell you about the other character traits: decisiveness, assertiveness, initiative, humility, integrity, courage, positive attitude, self-control, awareness, long-term thinking, focus, accountability, persistence, intentionality, responsibility, purpose, gratitude, mental toughness, a definite and clear goal that's meaningful. Just scratching the surface. It's not easy getting there, but it's worth it. Anybody who tells you it's going to be easy probably doesn't really know. Or they're lying because they want to sell you something.
Maybe it's something that I read yesterday and today. I really, if I find it, I am going to say, oh,
all right.
It was the first thing I highlighted today. By the way, for those of you guys who
sometimes I hear you reading and
oh, I know, I did.
And I want to be like, what?
Yeah.
Every time. What did you read? Share it with me.
Yeah. For those of you guys who are going to be a part of the Unstoppable You next year, you're just in for a real treat. Okay.
That's in a couple weeks. If you want details about it and you haven't yet, just send me a message on school. Today's the last day to sign up. I know it's short notice, but it's valuable.
All right. So you guys are ready for this punchline sentence, and then we're going to wrap this up. I have been forced to the conclusion that the man who attains it, that is power, in any other way than by slow step-by-step process is constantly in danger of destroying himself and all whom he influences.
And everything that he gained in the process.
I've seen it happen in my own life.
Oh my gosh. Let's talk about our business.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We went zoom, bang.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
like, if you take nothing else from today, is just, and this is why I saw a lot of respect for the two teams yesterday, is because I could really tell based on how they operated that they operated from the principles of discipline and concentration. And I could see it all over their coaches. And those two teams are going to get very far because, you know, the reason why I'm like I'm gonna look more into this Sean McVay guy, but he looks different. He carries himself different. A lot of football coaches are very sloppy, and it really makes me question.
What do you mean by sloppy? I'm curious because I think
Sloppy in the sense that they're extremely out of shape. You know who is someone else that I really look up to? The old Seahawks coach. The dude who is like 80 years old.
Yeah,
He's
he's
so
terrible.
sharp. Like, it's like, dude, you
he's
know,
still coaching too.
I know. Who's he coaching? I forget.
Is he Denver, guys?
I don't.
Forgive me. I don't.
I think he's done. But
No,
it's
he's not.
like
He's not done.
when someone
He's still coaching.
oh, okay. When someone carries themselves in a certain way, like I'm like, I want to know your story because I know that you get it. But when someone, I don't care how many records you got, if you are sloppy, there is shit in your life that is sloppy, which means, by the way, like I'm not saying that sloppy people are bad people. I'm just, for me, it's a character thing. And there's something about this Sean McVay guy. And yesterday you're like, wow, he's not even 40.
Yeah, neither of the coaches.
Like I was thinking about both of them. I'm like, I know, like they get it. Like these two dudes, they get it.
I do want to say there's no way you can make it to be an NFL coach if you don't have a lot of those character traits nailed down.
Sure.
But
sure,
there are, there's a lot to be said about having an absolute definite purpose and putting all of your eggs in that basket and just driving 100% towards that thing. Eventually you'll get it. So yeah, I mean, I would be actually curious to know because I think the same thing. I'm like, how can you be at this level here, but like your own personal like health and whatnot is like not matched up? Because you can't become an NFL coach without really being excellent at that thing. Right? Which requires some of these characteristics.
Yeah. And as I leave you into this weekend, I also want to share that we're all human, which means that we all have character flaws.
100%.
Okay. Like I can tell you that for me, like I'm a completely erratic, impatient,
at least aware.
like yeah, person. Right.
But we'll be working on it till the day we die.
I lack attention to detail a lot of times. And so, like some of
you'll
you
ask me a question and I'll answer it, and then I'll ask you the question 3 minutes later.
Yeah. So like do not try to be perfect. And this is why it's a journey, because we're never going to be perfect. And that's what the pursuit of greatness is all about. It's about closing the gap of where you are now from whatever your definition of perfection is. So don't try to be perfect. And at the same time, being humble and knowing that you're not perfect, like do not ignore it like most people do, or don't try to get the easy way out, which is how most people operate from. So be willing to confront your imperfections.
Yeah, and to give you comfort in this too, like you'll be working on it for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And the moment you stop is a dangerous moment. Yeah. So yeah, you'll always have something to get better at. And we've been told several times that phrase, like you're wise beyond your years. And I only believe that it's because, which is another thing I'm going to talk about in my training, is self-evaluation. We evaluate ourselves and we say, what's working, what's not working? Where am I doing well that I need to capitalize on? And where am I falling short? We will all have shortcomings. We'll all have things that we're not good at. It's just a matter of, can I move it from this stair step to this stair step? And then guess what? There's always going to be something that's on a lowest stair step. And then you get to work on it more. It's really like when you embrace it, it makes it a get to and not a have to, which is another thing I'm going to talk about in the training. When you always think you have to do something, you don't want to. I mean, what's forced? Have to is like I'm forced to. I have no choice. I'm a victim to the thing. But usually it's your choice. So you're just saying I'm a victim to my choices. And when we understand that concept, we're like, oh, that's silly. But anyways, I have gone far.
Yeah.
So lifelong journey, a lifelong journey. Please forever be working on the things that you can work on. That's also what brings purpose and fulfillment. I'm very much a believer that most of the cases of depression are simply a lack of purpose and a lack of something that you care about to focus on.
Magnified by big pharma.
Yeah.
Napoleon Hill would agree. Okay. All right. That being said, you guys.
Wow, what an episode. Did you see me miss my own hand clap? Oh.
That being said, you guys, go pursue your greatness this weekend.
See ya.
Bye.